Yo, 67, what's up? Hey, Colin Art, how's it going? Madison. Dream Girl Laura. Madness of Madison, hello. How is everybody doing today? Happy Monday. Today we're moving into markers. We're gonna go back into inks, but taking a quick break to do some markers work, which is always fun. Mati says, hey everyone, what a progress, great work. Thank you, Mati. Thank you for joining. Yeah, this slowly coming along. Finished the majority of the figures. And now we're moving into value work. And by value work, I mean grouping together different sections to create more hierarchy in the illustration and more order. So the first pass is, you can think of it as a ink wash or a watercolor wash over everything. And then we're gonna slowly start to choose strategic focal points and push them forward with a darker value. Hey, Reba79. We're also streaming on YouTube. And people in the chat, you can throw any ideas you have on what is the story here, what is happening in this moment of the illustration, who are these people, who is she, who are they, what is going on. I want to hear your thoughts. Hey, Matthias, Duong, Kolnit, Madison. Who else do we have here? Della. Happy Monday to you all. Matti says, in my opinion, it is a ritual where those below seem to be praying for the priestess to invoke the spirits from above. I love it. That's a great idea. A great reading of the composition. Hello, Smiley Cat, also known as Angela. How's it going? Mati says, I love her. Her calm admits the uncertainty of those below and the unstoppable advance from above. She's so composed as if she were in complete control. Oh, I love that interpretation. And that's a great read of this composition. Thank you, Mati. אורי רוסו, מה המצב? I think this marker is officially dead. Let me get another one. Let's see if we can use this larger one. Yeah, I kind of like it. It's not exactly the same hue, but it's the same value, so that'll do. These are Ohuhu wide markers. Pretty cheap and they're pretty good. Again, no fancy tools here, just a Moleskine watercolor sketchbook, Copic pens, and alcohol markers. And a lot of patience and drama needed to create this illustration. And the interesting thing about the pen is how do you create a shallow, what the fuck is this song? Is how to create a shallow depth of field. meaning how do you create a blur effect without being able to smudge the pen, right? And the answer is, you try to think, what does the blur give you? It takes away details, right? It blurs out the details. So you can just paint fewer and fewer details as the objects recede into space, and they'll give you like the same shallow depth of field effect. Yeah, by the way, this technique is used in games, and it's called a different level of details. So when you make a game, you make every asset in 3 or 4 different level of details. One is super detail, one is medium level, one is low level of details. And then by the distance of the object from the camera, that's how the render engine know which one to choose and to present. So that's the same like principle of whatever is farther from the camera has less level of details. But now the tricky question is, what detail do you omit and which one do you keep? Or in other words, how do you draw a face with 40 lines? And how do you draw the same face with 3 lines? Mati says, and they become more and more like the sky or grayer the further they get. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what you're referring to, like an atmospheric effect or a lighting effect, where the farther from the, or area perspective, it's another name for it, which means the farther something from the camera, the more air there is between you and that object, and that air often kind of like blends the background with the sky or whatever is in the back. I kind of like this marker. It helps me color way quicker. This is WG10 Porcelain by Ohuhu. So in this first layer, there aren't a lot of decision being made except for separating everything that is happening from the background. But the second layer would beg more questions on what is important here that we want to bring in, and what do we want to keep pushed back. And that is obviously a subjective question, and it depends on what is the story you want to tell. Or in other words, who do you want to focus on story-wise? And because it's a crowd scene, you can kind of choose. But you need to choose only one or two or three focal points, otherwise you get lost in the sauce. Hello, Lena. Those markers look really thick. Well, they are. They're super wide. Check it out. But they do the job. So who do you think should be the focal point here? I'm thinking that guy, obviously, and maybe her. I'm thinking like a triangle composition between him, her, obviously her, and then that guy. So kind of like this thing. And then the rest would be like a background elements just supporting those focal points. And also all that area here, I'm not a fan of. I mean, I like the overall shape, but the details are they're not detailed at all. So I'm like, might as well not choose it as a focal point. Yeah, these areas just like scribbles. Mati says, when I do that, I sometimes forget the idea and lose track of the form. Any advice on that? What do you mean by that? Forget the idea? whole area here I'm gonna turn into a flag shape. Mati says, sometimes I look at what I've done and say, this looks like this, but I was drawing something else. This is part of the forehead or the back. I think I get what you mean. You mean that you planned on drawing something and then something else came out of it? Is that what you mean? If that's the case, that's not necessarily a bad thing. All right, let's bring it Mark. Alright, so we set that guy. Let's start with emphasizing that guy a bit and see how it comes out. I think it's also gonna be cool because he's breaking the silhouette of the crowd, so... And this is also a chance to render him a bit more, add some shading to him. They're all kind of flat lit, but the one that I'm gonna choose are gonna be a bit more rendered. I wonder if this marker is dark enough. Try a different marker. All right, I got new 2 candidates here. These are Tombow markers. Yeah, I think that would do, right? Yeah, I like that. I'm also thinking light over dark over light, so maybe his hands would be lighter and they would be framed by the shadow neck. Maybe add some mustache. Give him some more personality. Yeah, I like this marker way better. So this is the Tombow N75 watercolor, water-based markers. So you see, I'm not just like darkening him to push him forward, but I'm also like darkening what's behind him to make parts of him read better. So it's not only dark over light, it's also bright over dark. And I want to choose like specific areas to emphasize. So for example, I really like his hands. So I'm gonna push back everything that is surrounding it, so they would be more contrasted over it. So you see how just by rendering him a bit more, he is becoming more of a focal point. Okay, so now I'm gonna go with her, and the way I'm thinking about, first of all, stylistically, something I like to do is I like to place focal point on the edges of the page, usually to balance the main focal point, right? And another thing that I don't like just choose, I like around every focal point to create smaller focal points so they won't be alone. So because he was like the main one for now, I'm just gonna choose random places to emphasize more so it would feel more organic, like the distribution of focal points throughout the page. Think of it like if you were to place something in space, you wouldn't just want to put one object. Like if you were to paint like a forest, you would put like your hero tree and then some smaller ones around it to make it feel more natural. If that makes sense. Matty asks, is the guy looking at the far right a good spot or not? He's the only one looking back. You mean that guy? Yeah. He'll be like the secondary one to him. So I'll render him a bit. but not as much as that guy. But yeah, that's a good point, and there's no like right or wrong. It's just a matter of like what kind of story you want to tell. 11M Chalp says, great video stream, but the Instagram pop-ups are blocking half the screen. Oh, really? Hold on, let me try something. M Chalp, is that better? And yeah, I'm also streaming on YouTube. The link is in my bio. But yeah, and in YouTube there is actually a different angle, like a more dynamic angle, so you can check it out there as well. But yeah, Instagram streaming sucks because like half of the page is just like annotations and shit. Mati says, I'll move. Okay, then I'll move with you because I don't really look at the chat there. So once you join on YouTube, drop a comment in the chat so I'll know that it's working there. Oh, people are commenting on YouTube. Hey, Noel, thank you. Tad, hi, says hi, thank you. Hey, Maddie, great having you in YouTube as well. All right, moving on. So, I feel like that guy, I mean, he could use some more rendering, and I might come back to him, but for this specific second layer wash, I think it's fine. I want to choose that guy too. And the reason why I'm choosing that guy is because I know that her hand, just by definition of being her hands, would be a focal point. So I want to draw more attention to the hands. Hey Maddie, can you tell me if on YouTube you can hear me fine and hear the same music as on Instagram? Just to confirm that all of my setup is working on YouTube as well. M. Chalp says, this is way better. Ah, thank you. Sweet. Hooray to YouTube. I can hear you. Music can be heard. Okay, thank you so much for confirming. Crystal clear. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so yeah, I don't want to sound like the streamers, but like and subscribe. Smash that like button on YouTube so you can see whenever I'm live again. Oh, music is louder. I'll take it down a bit. Okay, cool. So I pushed him forward a bit, and now I'm starting to think that I kind of want to choose the different focal points to lead into her. So I don't want her to I don't want the focal point to compete. I want to kind of like, whenever you're looking at one of the focal point, it will draw you into her. Now I don't have a lot of lines I can do to do that. So I'm just gonna choose the different people and emphasize them to act as a compositional directional line into her. M-Chop, is this going to be a watercolor piece? Yep, yes it is. You could go with a triangular focal point. Exactly, that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's gonna be like, kind of like this thing. Yeah, that's great thinking. What's the concept, Goddess of War? The concept, first of all, before I'll reveal it, you tell me what's the story you think is behind this, because I'm way more curious about the audience read of this as opposed to like my intention. Music is too loud. All right. Is it better now? All right. So what I was saying is, what is your read on that, on the story here? I'd imagine she is being inspired to fight by the people around her. Ah, I like that. The guys above are her fighting spirits. Yep. That's a good interpretation. Inspiration for fighting strength. Whoa. Ancestors. No, these are all really good. See, that second layer also helped me define kind of like the faces more. The guy on the right is praying for help, the one focal point. Exactly. So, to be honest, I like your guys' interpretation of it. But it wasn't my original thoughts. But again, you know, it's open to interpretation. What I wanted to do is have them praying to her to protect them from them. Almost like a class system. They're like rich and poor. Sorry, they're like poor and dirty, and they're like rich kings, and they're asking for her help because they're afraid of them. That makes sense. They're invading forces. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I just watched The Death of Robin Hood. Oh, I watched that too. What do you think? Oh my god, it was so dark and heavy. Interesting take on the character. Yeah, definitely. But it was so brutal. Like the fighting sequences there. Oh my god. People burning alive and shit. Very dark and heavy. I like the ideas that stories just spun lies about a person. Yeah. Yeah. That was a good takeaway. Have you guys watched Obsession or back rooms. Obsession was effing fantastic, says M. Chulp. Yeah, I like that too. I actually watched it twice in the theater. See if I can kind of. Yeah, the ending's super good. As soon as he called the hotline, I knew the ending though. It was such a good. Yeah, because that was like revealing, you know. Once he said like someone has to die in order for the spell to go away. It wasn't subtle. All right. I think I'm pretty happy with the crowd. I'll go with another layer to kind of like group the values even more, maybe even with complete black inks. But now I kind of want to move into her. Too much foreshadowing. Oh, for sure. What I liked about that movie is that it just looked like everybody who was working on it was having a blast. It looked like a passion project rather than your typical money grab movie. Apparently the director only does passion projects. What else has he done? So you see here, I'm thinking I want to emphasize on her face, but I don't want to darken it. So I'm darkening everything around her to frame her nicely. Same for the dress. I like that it didn't have any super big names, made it more believable. He's known for doing horror and other movies on YouTube, apparently. Well, that's cool. It's cool that they're giving them a chance. Alright, so here I'm gonna do the same gag where I want that horse to be the focal point. But I'll create the point of contrast by darkening that guy. Do you use special paper? No, I'm using Moleskine watercolor sketchbook. So this is a sketchbook. Yeah, I like textured paper more than smooth paper. I feel like textured paper pushes more of the imperfection out. Is it a monotone piece? No, I'm gonna add some hues and color to it. But the way I like to work, I work values first. And once I feel like I nailed everything, I would glaze some color on top. Oh, the No-10 method. Daryl Grant says, "Hey Tomer, this is going great. Thanks, Daryl. Thanks for joining. What's the inspiration for the scene?" The inspiration is a book I found. Hold on, let me find the name. It's called Slav Epic by Alfonso Mucha. And and look it up. It has like those crazy ass multiple figures, epic scenes. And I always liked Muka. I just didn't know he was doing those paintings. I always thought he was doing those graphic designed illustration characters. Once I found out about it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Daryl Grant says, that's exactly what came to mind. Oh, cool, yeah. Okay, so that's a good sign. It's a good sign. Yeah, I for years thought that everything he did was that what he's known for, and I didn't know anything about that epic Slav painting. Mchop says, I went to Alfonso Muka Museum last summer. Oh, really? How was that, and where was it? Daryl Glenn says, I love Muka's work. Cool, yeah, me too. He does large scales, 20 meters by 30 meters painting. Oh my god. Dude, I would kill to see one of those in real life. All done on cheap canvas. Cheap? You mean cheap? Or what do you mean cheap? Well, let me adjust the frame again. I feel like same here actually. I learned about his famous posters first, then a few years later I learned about his epic paintings and fell in love more. Right? They're so good. Sales. Okay, that's cool. I haven't heard of that. Yeah, send me a link for sure. Anton said, it reminds me of picturing of the French Revolution. Oh, that's cool. Thanks. Yeah, I love those big historical painting of the French Revolution. Multiple figures, caught in action kind of vibe. Are the links working? Where did you send them to? Oh, no, we didn't get any links. Sadly, I have to run, but keep up the good work. Thanks, Daryl. Thanks for jumping in. The museum is in Moravsky Krumlov. Okay, where is that? Alrighty, so I think that'll be it for this layer. Actually, let me just get this guy. Czech Republic. Cool. I'll look it up right now. Alright, gang, I think that'll be it for this stream. There's another one in Prague, Czech Republic, but it has Art Nouveau pieces there. Very cool. Next one, I would do some more line work and another layer of markers, but I feel like this is starting to take place. So thank you for joining, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.